Okay, let's see if this will work. So this is my presentation on Slinkachu, otherwise known as Stuart Pintle. So Stuart Pintle is best known as Slinkachu, that is his artist name that he uses. He is a British street artist born in Devon, UK in 1979. He specializes in sculpture, street art, installation, and photography, specifically by reworking tiny model people, usually from specific train sets, because of the way he likes the detail in the train models. And he reworks them and often leaves them on the streets for people to find. And sometimes he does make art for installations. He has said that he takes inspiration from people watching, or rather just like observing people around him and how they interact with their world. And that's what he gains inspiration from when creating his art. The first art piece I wanted to discuss is called Unnatural Wonder. It was created for the Museum of Fine Arts in Ghent, Belgium, and it looks a lot like it's made of those Cheeto Puffs, but it's probably just packing peanuts so that it can stay like this forever and it won't deteriorate. But you can think about it in a way like it's interesting to examine because it's just people in a chip bag. It's a unique take on an everyday object and experiencing wonder. The people in the chip bag look like they're having a great time. They're exploring something unique and cool, but to us it's just something we see every day and we don't even think about twice. I personally find the lighting really unique, and I love the concept of exploring something common like this in a lot more depth and taking the time to think about things more than you would every day. The next work I wanted to talk about is called Life as We Know It. It is currently displayed in the Indipa Gallery in London. Oh, wait, no, sorry. It used to be displayed there. It is now in the Museum of Fine Arts in Ghent, Belgium, same as the last one. And it is fixated around a modified McDonald's box, which is, of course, very funny at first glance. It looks like a little spaceship, but it's just a McDonald's box. Um, One of the great things about Slinkachu's work is that it often incorporates humor while still containing a serious message. And in this case, I interpret it as the fact that we often just choose the fast way through life without much thought. Sometimes it's easier to just get McDonald's and to go for the fast food rather than thinking about good diet or nutrition or things that might be more valuable to your health. I thought it was just a really unique and interesting way to talk about society as a whole and decisions we make in our life without thinking. And again, I like the unique lighting on this one. Overall, I think it's a really interesting piece and it can connect with people in ways that other art might not be able to. This one is called Oasis and was sold at an auction. The entire scene is set basically with handmade objects, and like the spill is fake and whatnot. However, it does represent something you would see every day, such as a spilled drink, and we come across those all the time. But this makes it into a story, and it's something a little more interesting. This is street art, so it is more accessible to everybody to see. You don't have to have money to buy it if you didn't want to. Well, in this case, you people did buy it, but the street art makes it more accessible. And this creates a whole story where there's the little spill there, but life has sprung up around it, and it's taking something that's more common and making it more interesting. It reminded me of the phrase, one man's trash is another man's treasure, except in this case, it's another man's art. This one is called Stuck on You and is not yet sold, actually, if my sources are correct anyway. And it is just a pair of people, little figures, as is common with these art works, and some gum, which is something you would see every day from people just leaving their garbage around. And it's just a little bit more interesting than a lot of the average art you see these days because it's taking something that you see every day and putting a bit more interest into it. This could mean a lot of things. I feel like this one is really left up to the viewer to interpret, which is something that I find really interesting about Slinkachu's work. It could be specifically made for a reason, or other times it could be more up for interpretation, which is really nice. To some people, it could be trying to get back together with someone. It could be that you can't be with someone. It could be that you're still thinking about somebody. And that's what's really interesting about it. Something cool about this artwork and a lot of the other street art pieces in general is it's a lot of fun to find something like this. It's like finding a tiny hidden world in your own world, and it gives you a little reminder to look a little more closely at things around you. And this one could just be as simple as looking at it, enjoying it, giving it, having a good laugh, and then moving on. Or you could sit and think about it, and it could make you reflect on other things too, not just the artwork. This next one is called Shoreline. It is also not yet sold as far as I am aware, and it's a depiction of figures on a beach. However, it is not at all a beach, there is no water. It is on the road, and this is just a painted line. I think this piece is a little different from the others in the sense that it feels fun and welcoming and not as serious. This one is more like a great thing to find one day, something to brighten your day if you're having a bad time. It's a beautiful scene with lots of little figures and tiny aspects like that tree, the little towels that everyone's laying on, and the little boat in the distance. It gives a little bit more interest to the entire scene. So, a few final thoughts. Slinkachu's art in general could be described in a lot of ways, and a few of the ways I chose to describe it is humorous, clever, describing topics of everyday life, and it's accessible. Having it be mostly street art makes it so that people can just find it and enjoy it every day. Or it might get thrown away, and that's okay because that's part of the intent of the art. And having it describe everyday life in such a unique way reminds people to take a step back and think about things before they just do. Something I value a lot in his art is the comedy because I connect with comedy. I find funny things more interesting, and I'm more likely to sit and inspect them and take time to think. I love the thought behind the works and how carefully planned they are, and sometimes how they're not planned and it's just a spontaneous thought. I love the inspiration behind Slinkachu's work, and I like how he goes about doing things. And I also really enjoy the stories that he comes up with. Overall, I like Slinkachu's art a lot for a variety of reasons. It's very unique, it's very creative and clever, and I think it is a valuable thing to have in day to day life. And here are my sources. I did as well provide links on a lot of the slides so you know exactly where I was looking to get some of the information or images that I was talking about. All right.